Hi guys, HC65 MA here, and in this video I want to show you all the latest upgrades for Simchair, how it works in its current state, and what you can do with it when flying a helicopter. So we're sitting in a Huey in DCS world. It's a harbor mission, so we'll be doing a few stunts that will help us to see how precise the Simchair set is. This is a helicopter up there, but we will not be following it as it does really weird things. So okay, let's take off. You can see the helicopter doing some kind of evasive maneuvers. I'm not sure why, but this is how AI flies helicopters in DCS. It's really weird. So you can see that I can maintain a steady flight without any problems. You can also see really tiny cyclic adjustments that I make. So this is the pneumatic mode in action for the collective. You can see that it holds this position firmly, and yet I can move it really by a hair. You can see it's really smooth. So I think that the collective with the pneumatic mode, if tuned correctly, is probably quite perfect. So really not much to wish more from it. So I guess you guys can build it and enjoy it. I've been testing it for a while now, and it seems to hold together, so no problems so far. Guys, I think my copilot just told me that we've got an urgent call from that ship over there. I guess they're out of beer or something, so we just have to help them. I guess, yeah, probably there's a few boxes of beer over there in cargo compartment, so okay. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad. So, you guys can see that a new cyclic gimbal. By the way, you can see that rubber bands work really well with centering. I haven't changed them for something like a week now, and they are as fresh as when I have installed them. So quite cool actually. So let's take off and go somewhere else, I guess. Yeah, how about landing in the swimming pool of that ship? Yeah, I guess we can do it. Because, you know, our gimbal is precise enough, as well as our other controls. Okay. So I have to say that the Cyclic is set to fully linear in DCS, so it feels really great. It's very precise, and it's probably all you can expect from any joystick. So pedals are great, Cyclic is great, the collective is just perfect. The collective heads are very customizable. They have a lot of buttons. With this little mode switch you can program these buttons as you like, as 3 different sets of buttons, you know. Now I guess I will show you a force trim feature. So let me do it on the ground at first. Basically, here's the force trim button in the Huey. You can press it, and then you can see that the stick on the screen is not moving at all, and the pedals are also steady. That's because in a real Huey, force trim affects both cyclic stick and pedals. It works slightly different than in a real helicopter due to non-force feedback stick limitations, but actually it's rather close to how real pilots use force trim, because you know, force trim adds some jitter to the controls. So basically they, at least Huey pilots, they tend to use it on the ground mostly, so they can let go of the controls. But you can also use it in cruise flight. For this we have it's not for the Huey, but you know, if you fly Bell 407, its force trim system actually can move cyclic with a head switch. You can see that the stick slowly moves sideways, and when I press the head switch to the right, it moves to the right. So you can actually fly a helicopter with just this thumbstick in cruise. That's cool. Then there's one interesting feature here. You can release the force trim with force trim button press, and you can see I have unlocked my pedals, but then you can see that the cyclic is still where it was. That's because to release force trim you need to return the stick to the position where it has been enabled. So this is done because you don't want if you trimmed your stick, say in this position, you don't want, if your stick is fully leaned forward, you don't want it to suddenly jump like here, because obviously this can crash your helicopter. So it's kinda, intellectual force trim feature. It's really useful. especially for non-centered gimbal, which is the classic version, the light version. And another nice feature of the Cyclic stick grip is the sensitivity switching. When you press the thumbstick button, you can see my stick and pedals jump to different positions. That's because when I pressed it, the full physical sensor range of the Cyclic and pedals is mapped to a reduced percent of the joystick axis. By default it's 80% of joystick axis, and then it's even more precise when you need it, and sometimes you need it, like flying 407 in DCS. But oh, pardon me, 407 in X-Plane. But for DCS Huey I prefer flying it with 100% of sensitivity setting. So let's take off again and return to the airfield. The collective lever with the pneumatic mod feels like, you know, there's actually something on the other end of it. It really adds to the you know, seat of the pants feeling. For now I can only imagine how it should feel in VR. I guess it should be pretty perfect. I will be landing on the runway just to show you guys the maneuvering in ground effect. But you can do vertical landings without any problems. You won't have any issues with controls, no precision, and the helicopter wobbling around. Yeah, I guess I'm a bit too high, but one more feature I haven't told you guys about yet in this video is that the B8 stick has a really nice radial switch. It's a two-way switch, just like in a real helicopter, real B8 stick. You can press it half ways and it will turn on Unicom. So sorry, ICS, internal communication system. So you can talk with your copilot or your cargo compartment, especially useful in ARMA when you're flying with your teammates. And when you press it to its full extent and you hear a click, this enables the totally different joystick button, and it suppresses the first button press. So in any given moment in time, there's only one push to talk button pressed. So you can use the half press position for internal communications, to talk with your teammates or your co-pilot or whoever is flying with you, and you can use your push to talk button, the full pressed position, to talk on the radios, just like in a real helicopter. So to make things even more interesting, you can actually send a keyboard press on the push to talk button press instead of a joystick button, because for example TeamSpeak, it can't use joystick buttons as push to talk keys, and in Arma you're often required to be on TeamSpeak as a pilot. So it's quite realistic when you talk on the aircraft channel with your crew, and you can also talk on the pilot channel in TeamSpeak by using the push to talk button of your Cyclic grip. Oh, I guess we'll park next to our comrade. So you can see how smooth my landing was. I barely even felt the touchdown. Now I will show you one more interesting feature of the collective. When the mode switch, this one, is set to its center position, the position 0, you can use compatibility mode. Compatibility mode is needed because in DCS you can only move throttle with an axis until the idle stop detent. After that you have to either move it with your keyboard or with mouse. So Simchair can send keyboard presses for you. By default it sends page up and page down keys. It is configurable in firmware. If you desperately need to use these keys for something else in DCS, you can assign some other keys. So guys, in a real helicopter you have to run it around a minute on idle after landing, but we'll skip this part and I will show you how we can shut it down with the collective. So that's pretty much it, guys. By the way, you can start it with throttle as well without touching the keyboard or mouse. So you can see when I turn my throttle, it sends some keyboard presses, and the throttle turns up to the axis range. You can see there's a detent mark here, so you just, you know, it's a tactile mark, you can feel it with your finger. You just put throttle next to this mark, and then you can press the button and close it, and then you can open it again and it will work. To make it work, guys, you need to start the helicopter. If you're starting it cold and dark, you need to start it with your throttle fully closed here, otherwise there may be some you know, weird glitches with it, and you may need to open and close it for a couple of times for it to work. But if you start it with throttle on 0, it will work just right. If you're starting if you're loading helicopter that is already started, you can of course load it with throttle set at full open to the flight position. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and please comment, and I hope you like the whole set. So see you guys.